Most of us see fast food as a quick, easy treat. We drive through, grab our order, and think about convenience, affordability, and that familiar taste. It's a quintessential part of the American experience, from road trips to late-night study sessions. But behind the iconic logos and brightly lit dining rooms lies a more complex and, at times, troubling story. The industry has been defined by significant food safety crises that have led to serious illnesses, shattered public trust, and forced a nationwide conversation about corporate responsibility. The story that changed everything, and in many ways defined modern fast food safety, happened in 1993 with a restaurant chain called Jack in the Box. Undercooked beef patties, infected with a dangerous strain of E. coli sickened over 700 people across 4 states, including California, Washington, Idaho, and Nevada. For weeks, hospitals were overwhelmed with sick patients, many of them children suffering from severe stomach cramps, bloody diarrhea, and kidney failure. The fallout from that E. coli outbreak was unprecedented. 4 children tragically died, and over 170 others were left with permanent kidney and brain damage. The incident sent shockwaves across the nation. Families were devastated, and a terrified public demanded answers and accountability. It was a wake-up call that a seemingly simple meal from a trusted brand could carry a deadly risk. This wasn't just a local news story. It was a national tragedy that hit too close to home for millions of parents. The tragedy forced a reckoning. In direct response to the Jack in the Box crisis, the US government took immediate action. The USDA implemented tough new mandatory cooking standards, specifically for ground beef, requiring it to be cooked to an internal temperature of at least 105 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees. This simple yet critical change, along with more stringent hazard prevention protocols, dramatically improved safety and became a cornerstone of modern food regulation. Even after that pivotal event, the industry continued to face challenges. In the late 1990s, Burger King was hit with a major E. coli outbreak linked to undercooked hamburger patties. The outbreak, while smaller in scale than the Jack in the Box incident, still resulted in severe food poisoning for many customers. It served as a grim reminder that the lessons of '93 hadn't fully been learned and that the vulnerability of the system remained. Another high-profile case involved Taco Bell in 2006. An E. coli outbreak was traced back to contaminated green onions, which had come from a multi-state produce supplier. The incident resulted in dozens of hospitalizations and forced the company to pull green onions from all of its restaurants. It highlighted a critical new challenge. It's not just about cooking meat properly, but about the entire supply chain, from farm to truck to kitchen. These outbreaks exposed a consistent and painful truth: the tension between corporate caution and public transparency. Companies, often on the advice of their legal teams, may wait for conclusive evidence before issuing a public warning or recall. This cautious approach, designed to protect the brand from liability, can sometimes mean that more consumers are exposed to a threat before it is contained. It's a pattern that has repeated in numerous food safety incidents. The risks aren't only about microbial contamination. Problems can arise at any point in the complex supply chain. The food might be perfectly safe at the source, but what about the truck that transports it? A refrigeration unit that fails to maintain proper temperatures can turn a safe shipment of meat or produce into a breeding ground for bacteria. These are the invisible failures that customers never see. Human error is another constant factor. The fast-paced, high-pressure environment of a commercial kitchen can lead to lapses in judgment. An undertrained employee, rushing to meet speed of service metrics, might use the same gloves to handle raw meat and fresh vegetables, or a worker might fail to wash their hands properly. It is often a chain reaction of small, seemingly insignificant mistakes that leads to a major breakdown in safety. Furthermore, isolated but alarming incidents have involved physical contaminants. Stories of customers finding pieces of plastic, glass, or even metal in their food are not unheard of. These cases, often resulting from equipment failure or human error at the local restaurant level, can further erode consumer confidence. They demonstrate that vigilance is required at every single step, from food preparation to final assembly. Over the decades, almost every major chain has faced its own food safety challenges. In 2015, Chipotle suffered a series of outbreaks, including E. coli and norovirus, that sickened hundreds and severely damaged its reputation for fresh, healthy food. In 2018, a multi-state outbreak linked to contaminated romaine lettuce hit fast food giant Wendy's, causing illnesses and once again highlighting the vulnerability of shared supply chains. The long-term impact of these events lingers far beyond the headlines. Customers who fell ill or communities affected by an outbreak develop a lasting caution. Despite multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns promoting an image of wholesome fun, the memory of past failures remains an undercurrent in the public's mind. The brand trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to fully restore. These incidents also highlight a painful imbalance of power. For those who get sick, an illness can mean overwhelming medical debt, lost wages, and long-term health complications. The financial and emotional toll on a family can be devastating and permanent. For the companies, meanwhile, the cost is often just a manageable expense. Corporations may settle class action lawsuits for sums that, while significant, are a fraction of their vast finances. For the victims, no settlement can truly compensate for their suffering, the lost years of health, or the emotional trauma. It's a stark illustration of how the system is often designed to protect the institution, not the individual consumer. So, the next time you're at a drive-thru, it's worth considering the complex, invisible system behind your order. Was the produce washed correctly? Was the meat cooked to the right temperature? It's a testament to the decades of work by regulators and advocates that these things are rarely a problem today. But it's also a reminder that our convenience comes with a responsibility for corporations to prioritize safety as a non-negotiable standard, and for us, as consumers, to remain informed and vigilant.